Good morning and welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, Port Richey. We have our guests today, Armand and Angelina, and our service will begin shortly. Yeah.
Some places where there's only 4 or 5 people that even show up, so congratulations showing up today. And now a word from our sponsor, Renee.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Newport Richey. As we have our opening music, as you recall at the beginning of our service, we have our basket that if you have any spare change, dollars, please come forward at this time so that we can help to feed the hungry in our community.
This is your will, is my will, is God's will. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. There is only one presence, one power, God the good. There is only one presence, one power, God the good. There is only one presence, one power, God the good. Whose will? Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. That's your part. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. If you think that you're not supported by your brother, sister, think again. If you think that you're not supported by your brother, sister, think again. If you think that you're not supported by your brother, sister, think again. Whose will? Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. There is no place you need to get to. There is only here and now. There is no place you need to get to. There is only here and now. There is no place you need to get to. There is only here and now. Whose will? Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. Everybody singing. Your will is my will, is God's will. We are one. So, that was fast. Angelina is going to lead us in singing the Lord's Prayer. Feel free to join along if you would like, and I will speak the Aramaic. This is our version of this song. Let's try this again. If you want to make God laugh, tell her your plans, right? I'll play this little pocket flute for our audio-visual man back there. I wound to wash my need to Kadash Mach. Tite Malkuta. The wine is Savina. I cannot. The wash Maya. Oh, Bacha. Aulan Lachma. Nesukinan Yamana. Wash Korban Habein. Aikina Dafinan. Shwaken El Hayabein. Ulatala. Elisiona. Elapasana. Invisha. Mita Ilaki Mamuta. Uhaila Utishmota. given to us by our great way shower, reminding us that we were meant to experience heaven on earth right here, right now. Amen.
And now we have the lighting of the candles. The first candle we'll light today is a Christ light. The Christ candle reminds us that the Christ light is alive in each and one of us. And now as we move to that special time of the year where we light the Advent candles, we'll relight the candles both of hope and peace from last 2 weeks. And now we'll light the one. I like this one. It gives something better. There we go. Of joy. And we remember with the candle of joy, as with the coming of Jesus, our Savior, draws nearer and our joy builds with our anticipation of his birth. From the book of Isaiah, we read these words, "But be glad and rejoice forever in what I am creating, for I am about to create Jerusalem as a joy, and its people as a delight." And from the New Testament with Paul, "The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. If we live by the Spirit, let us also be guided by the Spirit." So let's right now reflect a moment on the lighting of the candles. We joyfully rejoice, O Spirit, for the fulfillment of your promise of our way shower and the powerful way his message of love and compassion enriches our lives and this world. Thank you for this gift of liberation and the promise through the birth of Jesus and the Christ in each one of us. Create us anew as we wait and help us to see love's glory as our lives are filled with the living Spirit of Christ within. Amen. And now as we have our daily word, today's daily word is on love. Love lights my way. In this Advent season, as I prepare my heart for the rebirth of my inner Christ child, I take a moment to connect with the spirit of love within. Sometimes this season seems to be all about presents, food, and celebrations, but it's really about love. Love is the power upon which the whole world revolves. Especially in this busy time of the year, I want to stay attuned to the love of the Christ within. Through this reciprocal power, the love I give returns to me abundantly. Love transcends all, transforming any perceived negativity into a blessing. I express love in all my words and action. I may give a plate of homemade food or send a heartfelt note of appreciation. Whatever I do, I let the love in my heart be the guide. And from Mark, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater. So at this time, we're going to move forward to our mission, vision, and core values. If you'll read together with me the vision: a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our mission: through prayer, service, education, and outreach, we support transformation and heart-centered living. In our core values here: spirit-led, learning, loving, joy-filled, and community. Well, at this time, I'd like to welcome everyone here that came this morning. I see some faces I haven't seen in a while, so thank you so much. And this is going to be a very special presentation. and message today, so thank you for coming back. And we like to say that at Unity that we are a positive and practical path for spiritual living. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. For those of you who are on Facebook and YouTube, thank you also for joining with us today. We ask you that you either like us or subscribe to us so that you can find us easier. Thank you so much. So you got a little taste of who's coming today to our presentation, Armand and Angelina. So we welcome you back. You've been many, many times, and every time you just tear down the house. So thank you so much. Let me introduce them for those who have not heard and it be the first time hearing them. Armand is an award-winning songwriter and inspirational speaker whose enthusiastic presence inspires us all to love life passionately. And Angelina's heart-opening and angelic voice draws from many languages. She was classically trained at Indiana University and is formerly with the Epcot Center. They are international performers using song, stories, and humor to remind us now to open our hearts and remember we are meant to experience heaven on earth. And now at this time, we're going to have our announcements.
Thank you, Renee. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to make this really quick so we can get on with the show. So, first of all, we'll talk about the newsletter. If you're not getting the newsletter, I ask that you go to our website, go to the very bottom of the page, and click subscribe. And if you don't want to do that, there's a yellow card in your pocket of the back behind the pew. Fill that out, drop it in the offering, and we'll get you on the list. So next week, we have Reverend Barbara Williams coming back. So yay. Reverend Barbara was a minister here for over 11 years, and we love her and miss her very, very much. And she's going to grace us next week, so make sure you don't miss next week. We also have our candlelight service, which will be the 24th, Christmas Eve, and that's going to be Dieter Randolph, and he was here a few weeks ago. He's got great things planned, and as always, the candlelight service is always wonderful, and it gets you into the mood for Christmas Day. And Christmas, the 26th, Sunday, we will have Greg Darmish, which we do the Burning Bowl, which is where we let go and release. And it's a beautiful, beautiful service. If you've never experienced it, please plan on being here for that, and you won't want to miss it. So if you're new here today, could you just simply raise your hand? We have a packet of information to give you. Looks like we have all our regular. Oh, there's a couple of new people. Thank you. Welcome. She's going to give you a packet of information. And without further ado, let's welcome. Oh, one more thing. Sorry. I have some calendars out on the table out there, out front. They're free. Someone brought them in for us. Doris did. And so please take one. They're for next year. Just take one with you when you leave. So thank you. And now, without further ado, Armand and Angelina.
That was about 10 years ago. I aged and she didn't. That's how it happens sometimes. So we're going to lead you into the meditation before we go into our message. And the chant that we're going to go into our meditation with is very simple. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. Peace I am, peace in every moment, peace in every moment, peace I am. And we breathe in more of that peace, knowing that we have come together to remind ourselves and each other that the peace of God is available to us at all times. As we breathe in, quiet the mind, we breathe in more peace, more life, more love, more joy. And as we breathe out, we share that peace and love and joy with the world. Making room to breathe in more awareness. Breathing out anything that no longer serves us, old worn out ideas, belief systems, any thoughts of separation or lack, anything that would be in conflict with the truth and the peace of who we are. Eternal, beautiful children of God, richly deserving all the good life has to offer. Allow the music to take you deeper into that peace. Very gently now, begin to bring your attention to your physical surroundings. This sacred sanctuary, this holy now moment, for only right here, right now, can we ever truly experience the peace and oneness of God. All is well. All is well. God is balanced. All is well. There's perfection everywhere. All is well. Thank you, great Spirit, and so it is. Amen and amen. Our message today is turn the other cheek, so we'll be talking a lot about forget. Wow, that's beautiful. I want to go there. We'll be talking a lot about forgiveness and recognizing our oneness, which to me is more important now than ever. So many different events, including the huge great pause we are still moving through, which somebody would have told me this a year ago, I would have gone, that's going to be completely forgotten by now. But it's not completely forgotten. We're still moving through it, and more than ever, people's differences came up. Did you notice that? They were already there, but they came up. And somehow, we as a nation, many of us, not so many of us in New Thought, but some here too, forgot unity and forgot oneness and forgot that you don't have to agree with each other to love each other and to respect each other and accept each other and to be civil with each other. And forgiveness is one wonderful way to go that route. So years ago, we heard a song about a couple of different groups getting together, and we fell in love with the song. It was around Christmas time. We were singing up in Nacogdoches, Texas. And anybody from around there? I know we have at least one Texan somewhere here. Okay, and they were singing a song about these young teenagers that were celebrating some pagan festival stuff, some winter solstice. And they wanted to go visit their aunt and uncle who were more traditional Christians. And so this song is called The Christians and the Pagans. And it could be, we could change it to the Democrats and Republicans, whatever you want to call it. But it's all about two different groups finding a way to work things out together and celebrate life as children of God. Amber called her uncle, said we're up here for the holidays. Jane and I were having solstice, now we need a place to stay. And her Christ-loving uncle watched his wife hang Mary on the tree. He watched his son hang candy canes, all made with red dye number 3. He told his niece, it's Christmas Eve, I know our life is not your style. She said, hey, Christmas is like solstice, and we miss you, and it's been a while. So the Christians and the pagans sat together at the table, finding faith and common ground, the best that they were able. And just before the meal was served, hands were held and prayers were said, sending hope for peace on earth to all their gods and goddesses. The food was great, the tree plugged in, the meal had gone without a hitch, till Timmy turned to Amber and said, is it true that you're a witch? His mom jumped up and said, the pies are burning, and she hit the kitchen. And it was Jane who spoke, she said, it's true your cousin's not a Christian. Oh, we love trees, we love the snow, the friends we have, the world we share. You find magic in your God, and we find magic everywhere. So the Christians and the pagans sat together at the table, finding faith and common ground, the best that they were able. And where does magic come from? I think magic's in the learning, 'cause now when Christians sit with pagans, only pumpkin pie has to do the dishes. Her aunt said, really, it's no bother. Amber's uncle noticed how she looked like Tim and like her father. He thought about his brother, how they hadn't spoken in a year. He thought he'd call him up and say, hey, it's Christmas and your daughter's here. He thought of fathers, sons and brothers, felt his own son tug his sleeve and said, hey Dad, can I be a pagan? He said, we'll discuss it when they leave. So the Christians and the pagans sat together at the table, finding faith and common ground the best that they were able, lighting trees in darkness, learning new ways from the old, making sense of history and drawing warmth out of the cold. Why can't we all just get along? So one of the people in my childhood that had a very, very strong message of learning to get along with each other, learning to accept each other, learning to forgive each other. You know, to err is human. There's an old thing, to err is human, to forgive divine. To err is also human, but to make amends divine. Sometimes it's easier for us to forgive folks when they make amends. It's easier for them to forgive us when we make amends. But it doesn't need to be necessary. Okay, so we're going to dedicate this next little part to a wonderful man that helped remind me that growing up as a child. You know what time it is. Mr. Rogers time. Ready to sing, boys and girls? It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to Unity of Port Richey. We're excited to have you here. It's a special day. It's customary in our special day to have a special word or phrase. And our phrase today is turn the other cheek. Let's say that together. Turn the other cheek. It's special, isn't it? Not always easy to do. Forgiveness is not always easy to do. Now, our great way shower was a fabulous example of forgiveness, right? Okay? It reminds me of that story. They're having, that this is not necessarily true, but just bear with me. They're having the Last Supper, and Jesus says, I know one of you is going to betray me, and I know who it is. And Timothy comes up and says, is it me, Jesus? He goes, no, it's not you. You totally have me. You have my back. You're wonderful. It's a fine. And Peter comes up. Is it me, Jesus? He goes, no, Peter, it's not you. And so Judas is in the back sweating, obviously. Judas goes, is it me, Jesus? And Jesus goes, is it me, Jesus? Sometimes people don't like jokes about Jesus, but anyway. But that kind of forgiveness, knowing you're going to be betrayed and still seeing the Christ in someone, okay? And so if you think about these words, forgive them for they know not what they do. Do you remember what was happening that day when he said that? Wasn't a great day. No, wasn't a great day. Still was able to find the truth within. To me, a lot of these unity principles are the deep principles that are part of our faith, which goes deeper than understanding. Okay? You don't have to understand all this stuff that's going on in the world. I don't think you ever will, especially what's been going on in the last few years. I don't think we'll ever understand it. People are crazy out there. But we have to have the faith that all is well. The faith that everything's in divine order. And the faith that people are doing the best they can at any given moment. And we'll be talking about that in a few minutes, about that idea. And so, turn the other cheek. Now, when I first heard that, I thought that sounded a little bit codependent. You know, like in the Old Testament, it said things like an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, which left everyone toothless and blind. So that's not a very good system, is it? And then we learned in the New Testament, turn the other cheek. However, having relationships that were challenging much of my life, learning how to set boundaries, I thought, well, how does turn the other cheek make sense? Because it might allow somebody to continue hurting you. Now, metaphysically, turn the other cheek is not necessarily the physical cheek as much as it is turning it around to where you see things through new eyes, not through the pain and anger, but seeing the goodness and the Christ in somebody else, seeing things differently, looking for your part in it, setting boundaries and all that. But I thought, what if some of the words that Jesus spoke, somehow between when he said them and when we got them in a book, might have been misinterpreted a little bit? Any possibility of that?
Yes.
That reminds me of that priest that's down in the basement working on the spiritual text, and he's taking the Greek and the Aramaic and he's translating it to English, and he's looking for little mistakes, and he goes, "Oh my God, the word was we need to celebrate." It's not celibate. One R. Anyway, little things like that can happen over time, right? What if when Jesus said it, he didn't say, let somebody continue to step on you and hurt you and be a doormat. He said, turn the other cheeks and walk away. Is that possible that that might be a better interpretation than an eye for an eye or just stand there and take it? You know, if we have any Brene Brown fans out there, Brene says people that have the best boundaries are some of the most loving people out there because they've set clear boundaries of what does work and what doesn't, okay? And so we get to set our boundaries and still forgive people, okay? Setting a boundary doesn't mean that you alienate somebody and make them wrong. It just means that you set boundaries on where they're going to fit into your life. So what I would like to do now is talk about some different stages of forgiveness. And one of the things that bothers me is when people use the pulpit as a form of self-promotion. But I'm going to read something from my book. And this is on forgiveness. So, forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds on the heel that has been crushed. The fragrance the violet sheds on the heel. Mark Twain said that. And here's how you will know you have done all your forgiveness work. Are you ready? Can we get a drum roll? Here's how you know. You won't be here. Thank you. There's always something else to do. And guess what? You know what the final frontier is? I don't know what they said in Star Trek, but the final frontier is self-forgiveness. Because we have the most ammunition against ourselves. Okay. Forgiveness work is crucial to personal freedom. This is especially true when it comes to self-forgiveness. It's really easy to forgive and understand the concept of forgiveness in our minds. We let go of our judgments of ourselves and others, and we feel more at peace, period. Still, that's in the head, but not necessarily in the heart. It can be helpful to hear quips like, not forgiving someone is like taking poison, hoping the other person will die. You've probably heard that. It's simple, but it really shows you how it's self-inflicted when you don't forgive someone. That makes it very clear how important for our emotional, mental, and even physical health to practice forgiveness. I call this full body forgiveness. Remember, our spirit or true nature does not need to forgive, for it never judged in the first place. Okay, so let's go through what I like to call the 5 stages of forgiveness. The first stage pre-forgiveness. What a lot of people miss is the importance of honoring the discomfort. Okay, we want to jump right to the spiritual bypass, jump right to forgiveness. You know, Marianne Williams said, just because you're working on forgiveness does not mean you want to do lunch. You might not need to be around certain people. As a matter of fact, we were just talking in the car, and Angelina went through a challenging thing with somebody earlier this year. And I said, if we went to a party and you knew he would be there, would you want to go? She said, I don't think so. I'm not ready for that yet. Doesn't mean she hasn't done her forgiveness work. It means she's not ready to do lunch. Okay? So we work at this. I think the more that you do it gracefully and gently, the more powerful the forgiveness will be. One of my friends said something to me the other day. She said, slower is faster. I said, what kind of logic is that? She said, slower is faster. I go, what do you mean? Sometimes you do things slow and methodical, and you don't have to keep repeating it. If you've ever done a project that you rushed through and had to redo it, took more time, slower can be faster. Another one of those oxymorons is, what's hard is easy, what's easy is hard. My dad told me that growing up. I said, Dad, that makes no sense. He said, it will make sense to you someday, but let me just explain to you. If you don't want to do something, but you need to do it, and you do it now, which is the hard part, it'll be easier when you don't have to do it tomorrow. If you take the easy route and just leave all the dishes in the sink, then you're going to have a difficult time cleaning them later. Okay? Do the hard part first, and it'll be easy later. So sometimes these paradoxes, these oxymorons, have a lot of truth in them. Okay, so sometimes slow forgiveness. So pre-forgiveness is basically feeling the feelings you're feeling. Could be anger, could be resentment, you could feel betrayed, could feel really, really sad. Feel all of that. Allow your body to feel it. Don't make it about the other person. Feel what you're feeling. Then when you've allowed yourself to feel, then you can move to the next step, which is getting to the idea that you don't want to carry this around forever. You know, pain is a wonderful thing to express, and sadness is to express. You want to go there and feel it, but you don't want to buy property there. And one of the ways you buy property in pain and sadness and anger is by holding on to resentment about other people. Every time you hold on to the resentment, that's a down payment on that property. It keeps you stuck there. So the next step would be, maybe you're not ready to fully forgive, but you might be able to be willing to entertain the idea, I forgive that jerk for what they did to me. It's not a full forgiveness, is it? But it's a start. It's kind of honoring the little part of you that's not really happy with them right now, but you're at least saying, I need to move towards that forgiveness. Forgive that person. Oh, wow. I like that. Okay, so the next stage of forgiveness would be, I know that that person did the very best they could at their current state of consciousness. Does everybody resonate with that idea? Now, I'm not saying that's easy, but do you resonate that everybody ultimately is doing the best they can? When you know better, you do better, as Maya Angelou says. Okay, but that's also true of us. We are doing the best we can at any given moment, given our current state of consciousness. That is a higher vibration than I forgive that jerk. Okay? Because we don't want to think of other people or ourselves as jerks. Okay? So we forgive that because we know we did the very best we could at the moment. Now, we talk about divine order. We talk about God is all. Your will is my will is God's will. There's only one presence, one power in my life, God the good omnipotent. That would mean everything's happening the way it's supposed to happen. Is that true? If everyone is doing the very best they can at any given moment, given their current state of consciousness, and so are you, then the next stage of forgiveness would be true. Everyone, including you, are doing the only thing they can at any given moment, given their current state of consciousness. Everything's all working together, even and especially when we don't understand it. Okay? So that's a higher state of forgiveness. We're getting, oh, now I'm seeing it's all working the way it's supposed to. It doesn't mean, as a result, you don't set those boundaries. Sometimes the pain and discomfort is a wake-up call for you to set better boundaries or to feel. Sometimes when you allow yourself to feel discomfort over a situation, old discomfort that you haven't dealt with comes up and gets to get released with it. You know, it's like putting stuff out to the street. Let it go. Who said that? Elsa said that in Frozen. Let it go. Okay. So, if you're able to move through that, remember, your body and your emotions are not going to be as quick to forgive as your spirit and your brain are. Okay? Your brain and your spirit gets this stuff very quickly. Your body and your emotions, not so quickly. Okay? Emotional pain is a lot like a very, very strong hit on the arm. It will be bruised for a while. And emotional pain is an emotional bruising. Allow yourself to heal and be gradual. But have as your vision total body forgiveness. And one of the greatest ways we can do that is allow the physical and the emotional to feel what it feels when it feels it. Babies know how to do this. They know how to do it really well. They feel everything. They let you know exactly what's wrong. I'm hungry, change my diaper. Okay, whatever. They let you know. They feel it. They don't know, I'm too spiritual to have an issue here. I don't need to change my diaper. I'm one with everything. That's what they call it, the spirit of elimination. So, the high level of forgiveness, when you can really move your body through it, is getting to that place, and I know that we're all there on many, many things. Getting to that place where you become grateful for whatever happened or whatever they did that brought you to this new, fabulous, wise place. Okay, I can tell you this. All of our lives are way better because of the fabulous, awesome, loving people that are in our lives. Would you agree with that? Yes. They're also dramatically better because of the ones that haven't been so fun to be around. Because they have beat us up a little bit like that sea glass in the water that becomes very smooth and refined. It didn't get smooth and refined from sunshine and light mist. It became smooth and refined by getting beat around the ocean, going up against the sand. And we've all been there. We've all had things that we thought were the end of the world, and we became better people because of it. Angelina and I talk a lot about our challenges during the last couple of years during the Great Pause, and how we have learned how to make lemonade out of lemons in a very profound way, because we had more than we've ever had to deal with. Moving into the level of gratitude. I thank them, I thank myself, I thank the situation for giving me the experience, the wisdom, and if anything, the fortitude to set better boundaries. Okay? That is a very high level of forgiveness. Now, I remember when I first started learning about this, maybe back in the 90s, really learning deeply about forgiveness through unity. My brain had it. My spirit had it. But my emotions and my body were not there. So what we do in 12-step work, you probably heard this phrase, fake it till you make it. You start moving yourself towards that, even if you're not there. You start holding that vision. I'm going to get to that place of full forgiveness. Okay, so I remember one of the steps for me was to write a song. To write a song about the type of forgiveness I wanted to have. And I thought, I'm going to pick the most challenging person in the entire world for me to write this song about. That's some good work right there. You know, just go right into the belly of the whale. Okay? And this particular person happened to be a surrogate mother of mine growing up. And it was not fun. I can say that I learned super valuable lessons. I did finally learn how to set good, clear boundaries. But if I look back overall, I am the man that I am today for you and for Angelina, largely because of the difficulties I had with this human being. And so I knew this is going to be my biggest chance to forgive. Because for full forgiveness, there's a part of our ego that says, if we forgive fully, we're condoning their behavior. But that's not true. I don't think the people that Jesus forgave, he condoned their behavior. He just forgave them because he knew who they were at their core, a shining light of Christ. And he knew that he would have a better life if he lived that principle. Okay, so I'm going to finish up this part of the service with a song called I Forgive You For You Know Not What You Do. And I wrote this in 1996, and it took me at least until 2012 before my body and my emotions could embrace these words. But again, you don't have to do it perfect. You start taking steps. The journey of 10,000 miles starts with one step. That's it. Okay. All right. Haunted by the times you made me cry, feeling not quite good enough, not understanding why. I blame you for the hell that I was in. Then I burned through my resentment so I could love again. I forgive you, for you know not what you do. When you did those things that hurt so much, you didn't have a clue. Love needs no conditions, it will always see us through. I forgive you, for you know not what you do. I still have an angry thought or two, dealing with those folks that try to tell me what to do. But I still try to turn the other cheeks. Watch me walk away, you'll know exactly what I mean. I forgive them, but they know not what they do. When they do those things that hurt so much, they haven't got a clue. Love needs no conditions, it will always see us through. I forgive them, for they know not what they do. The more you give away, the more you have. Everyone's a mirror of some part of you. It could be anger, but it could be love. Why not choose love? Haunted by the times I made you cry, bringing out the worst in me, not understanding why. We can heal together perfectly. I can be more loving, but there's one thing that I need. Please forgive me, for I know not what I do. When I do those things that hurt so much, I haven't got a clue. Love needs no condition, it will always see us through. Please forgive me, for I know not what I do. Please forgive me. I forgive you. And so it is. Thank you.
We want to thank you so much for your message today. You guys have outdone yourself once again. One more round.
Thank you for being one of the churches that did not cancel us. So thank you.
As you may have seen if you came in, they also have a table full of, he's got a new book as well, so, and some CDs. And Armand and Angelina want everyone to have their music, so they are offering their CDs on a suggested exchange basis. Please take what you desire, give from your heart, and feel free to tithe in the future if you can now. So that's so gracious of you guys. Thank you. We at this time want to just a couple reminders before we end the service. We have our chaplain service. Lorraine, will you stand up, please? Thank you. Lorraine's going to be available over in our new section is in this side for our chaplain for any prayers or gratitude before or after the service. And we want to thank everyone who worked so hard. Gail, Linda, Jeremiah, all the ushers. Thank you so much for all you're doing. And now at this time, we'd like to move into the offertory section. So if we will together say our offertory affirmation, it's up on the screen, our offertory blessing. In deep gratitude, I give way to the limitless power substance. I am blessed with all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and the blessings are multiplied. Thank you, God.
Here's a little song Angelina wrote with Beethoven. That have come through generous tithes and giving from these wonderful people. We know that as we give, it is returned back multiplied, and we know that these gifts are going to further this ministry and this center. Thank you, Great Spirit. And so it is. Amen. So are we moving into peace song and prayer and protection at this point? So do whatever it is y'all do. I don't know if y'all do a circle or you just stand up. We're going to sing our version, the rock and roll version of the peace song. Same lyrics. By the way, Jeremiah, stuff happening on the screen while I was speaking. That's some on purpose stuff going on there. That's pretty cool. That's what I call live in the moment. Okay, let's do it. And then we're going to sing the prayer of protection.
The peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let
And imagine now that our poet, James Dillon Freeman, got together with the Reverend James Brown. A 1, 2, 3, 4. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let's sing it again. The light of God surrounds us. Woo! The light of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Good God, wherever we are, God is.